What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Play Out Loud DJ discussion with QSC. I am Kristin Wilson out of Orlando, and I've got two of my ladies here with me. I'll let them introduce themselves. Jess and Brandy, tell everybody what's up and introduce yourself.
Hey.
Go ahead, Jess.
Exactly. We work well together. I am DJ Jessica McKelvey, and I'm based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I specialize in weddings, corporate events, private events, anywhere where I can get creative and throw down.
Boom.
Ooh, girl, I love that. What she said. She said, Bselecta. I am based in Los Angeles, Canada born. All the things that Jess said. I specialize in wellness and corporate events. I do weddings, but yes, anywhere I can create a vibe, I'm your love and vibe ambassador.
Oh, I love that. You guys, I always love talking to you and catching up. I feel like since the last time we chatted, the world is so different, and I feel like it massively changes every single time we get together. So first and foremost, let's start with some positivity. One life lesson that you have learned since the last time we chatted. Bselecta, I'm going to pass it over to you first.
Okay, I was thinking about this, and my life lesson for this week, this was really important this week because I was feeling pretty heavy. I'm just going to be transparent. I was feeling pretty heavy, and it was hard for me to allow myself to be happy about stuff. I felt weird about it a little bit. So my life lesson this week was that we need joy, and it's okay to feel it even when things aren't awesome. That's my life lessons. We need joy, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, girl.
I love that. Oh my God, I was hoping you'd inspire me, Jess. Okay, I'll go. Okay, so mine's not that deep this week. I'm trying to get more of my feelings. I feel like I'm getting a little bit calloused from the world right now. But I think for me, it is that once again, when it comes to doing weddings and taking care of our clients with regards to COVID, everybody is so different. And no matter what template I try to create or how I try to keep control of the situation, I legit have zero control, and I need to be okay with that. And that there are going to be some clients that are a little bit more lax as opposed to maybe they care a lot more. So really just kind of knowing that I can't control it and take everything case by case and just stay human, I guess, and get in my feelings.
How do you get in your feelings, Kristin? What do you do?
Oh God. I mean, put on a playlist depending on which feelings I need to arise. I don't really know. Like,
Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so what did I learn this week? I had an entirely different topic that I was going to speak about. It was going to have to do with procrastination, but bump that because something else. I had a revelation yesterday. So I'm working on a presentation for DJ and TV. John Young is throwing a virtual, and Chris is part of this actually, a virtual conference in 2 weeks, and they're all due this week. And I procrastinated, whatever. But the big thing that I learned is I have an extremely unhealthy relationship with asking for help. So I am cool with asking for it initially, and I'll post and I'll say things and I'll get, feedback and end up conferencing with different people. And I love it. And it's wonderful. I've had such a great support system with what I'm working on. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh, crap. I shouldn't be asking for help. Look at this other person who's doing the same thing. They're not asking for help. Does that make me small? And then I began to feel shame and feel small. And then I'm like, oh, well, they helped me. I have to send them something right now. Like I feel bad getting help. Well, then I thought, screw that. That's not a good feeling. It's not true. I'm a helper. I know it. Like when I help somebody, it's because they're awesome. And that's why I'm receiving help. So I said, I'm not feeling those anymore. I'm going to realize that I'm awesome. And that's why people are reaching out to help. And I should just embrace it and not feel stupid. So there it is. Ask for help and receive it.
You know what's so funny? So yes to the presentations, and I've been trying to record all day long for these things. And I'm going to add one thing to your asking for help is sometimes I get overwhelmed with like the detailed feedback from multiple people. At a certain point in time, like, I love you, but I also love my font, so I'm not changing my font.
Yeah. You can only take in so much energy when asking for help before it begins to disrupt your own. For sure.
Yeah. It's crazy. We were talking behind the scenes about, like, we are doing these lives, but like events are starting to come back. And so our schedules are getting a little bit more busy than they were before. So let's kind of just catch up with each other. Like, what's new with our gigs? Is there anything new? You know what I mean? Cause like, listen, Florida's wide open over here. Kind of, I guess, with like barely any regulations, county by county. And then, Jess, I don't even know what's going on in your world. And B, I feel like you guys are still shut down as everything, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What's new in your part of the world? What are you doing? How are gigs? What does that look like?
So I can say for California that it is still pretty locked down. It goes county by county, which is really confusing. But yeah. But things are, I mean, I feel like people are almost to the point now where they just want their life back. And so it's just like, we don't care, whatever precautions we need to take, do it. We talked about, like you said, behind the scenes, we're bringing a lot of events are coming outside. So that's what's happening for me. The gigs are starting to come into play. And this is where I need my sister's support because I'm struggling a little bit. That's why I was feeling heavy. And I'll explain that in a sec. But everything's being moved outside. So I like that. I like outside. So I love that. And it's slowly progressing that way. I feel like it's only a matter of time for California, that the pushback's going to be so massive that things are just going to start to pick up, which leads me into where I'm at in life, because here's the deal. COVID didn't just shut down my career. COVID changed my entire life with my kids. So what had me feeling really heavy is here all of a sudden this thing that I love so much, this music passion, sharing energy with people, is starting to trickle back in, and I feel pulled towards that. But at the same time, my kids still aren't in school. They're still home.
Yep.
My husband is still relocated to another place, and I'm running the show solo, and I am so torn because I know in my heart that I can't go full bore like you are right now. Like you're getting just, you're everything's exploding. I can't do it. And so it's such an internal struggle of where I belong in this space. And I don't know if there's any other mommies or daddies out there that are trying to do this as well, but it's like, I want to be there, and I know I need to be here.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
So hard.
Hard.
And it varies day by day with how difficult it is and where you put your attention. I feel you on that so much. So my two little boys they're both going to be in school this year, which I was excited about because then that's like more time for my business, more time for my work. I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years. Not that I don't love them with all of my heart, but I have been waiting for this. They're both home doing distance learning, and they're 5 and 6. So I need to be there helping. There is no time for work. I may get a half an hour in, unless I want to wake up at 5 a.m., unless I want to stay up until 12 a.m. And I'm not about that life because I will be tired and my quality of life will be down. So
that's what I'm saying.
Push what I want to do. And I am so ready to get creative and start doing all of these things that have been on my to-do list for so long and evolving as the years pass, but I can't. And it's crazy, man. It's like, imagine being ready to go to work and get it, but you can't do it because of other things that you care about as well. And then you feel guilty about wanting that, or about them. You know, they haven't done any of their specials this week because I've been working on things. We're barely caught up with schoolwork. We'll get there, I guess.
I am feeling you ladies to the nth degree. And I just want to say, what's up, Chris Cut? Thanks for joining us.
What up?
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is that, like, leave it to Kristin. I'm going to go find like this random quote that like inspires me, right? But like, somebody posted in my local market, and I can find 50 other quotes that go with this, but like, just because you can't see it doesn't mean I don't take it difficultly. It's difficult. I forget exactly what it is, but that's how I feel, because I feel like you know, I am just as like up in the air as you guys. I need to be in the office, but I'm still working from home and I've got presentations due, and I'm looking at an October schedule of like, holy crap, like we're back, but like we're not really back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I even had to have a conversation, you know, with my husband on Monday night, and I'm like, babe, like, can I like share something with you and you not come across the table at me? I just need you to hear me. And I'm just like, I can't anymore. Like I have to cut some of this off my list, or I can't be the best version of myself for everyone who needs me. You know what I mean? And then a friend of mine, I was, you know, in a meeting on Monday, even prior to that. And, you know, it sometimes when you get to that, like, you know, point of, okay, I have the kids and dinner and home and I got to clean the house and the office, you know, for me, like my pipes bursted. Like I haven't even been to the office in 6 months. How are my pipes going to burst in the office? So now I got to take care of that. And then a DJ's equipment went down this weekend. So now I got to like figure that out. And then, you know, so it's all the things, and it may not be that one thing that upset me or like kind of triggered me. It really is all the underlying things, right? Like I was aggravated, I had to clean the house. So it really wasn't that, it was all these other things. So it's just, I don't know where I'm going with this other than it is a lot. And we just have to, you know, COVID is really taking us on this journey where you have to readjust and realign very often, I guess, right?
Yeah. But since you've been out there, like you both have been out there a lot more than I have. I've had a couple of gigs here and there, but really not that much yet. But when you're out there and you're in your space, does it not all, like, does it just go, like, do you just get in that zone, and do you get like that joy from that moment though? And isn't that important? That's where I get a little lost.
Yeah,
I feel like I need to be there.
You do, but then being there is also so unique right now too. Like you have to not try to think about what 2020 has been and what it is right in front of you too, or like allow any of those anxieties, personal beliefs that you have about what people should be doing and what you see not happening or happening at events. Because I did about 5 or 6 weddings in August, and like I just got slammed, which was great. And then September I've had 2 weddings, and then October I have 1 moving forward. But it's, you know, being out there, oh my gosh, yes, it's amazing to be out there in your zone, playing music, vibing with people. But then you stop and it's like you remember, okay, you're going to high five me, and I can't do that, or I can't, you know, give you a hug right now. And so it's just this restriction on this natural part of your soul. And you kind of have to build up a callus, like you said, Kristin, where it's like, okay, this is 2020. This is what I have to do. These are my personal boundaries that I've set up for myself, and I have to stick to them. I can't start to get blinded to it and in the moment too much, which I've had happen where I wanted to hug my couple, or I wanted to high five that guy, or maybe I did, I'm not going to say, and oh crap, hand sanitizer, let me clean the mic, you know? So it's these little distractions, as long as you can tell them to be quiet and just take in that moment. Like I know that a moment I took in at a wedding was during a slow dance set. I always do 2 back-to-back slow tracks to give people a chance to come out and share a moment with their loved one. There's nothing like that at a wedding. And I stopped and I just took in that energy of love. And I'm like, this is what it is. Like this moment has been created because of the timing and the song that I've chosen. And of course, this couple that has decided to spend their lives together. And that filled me up enough, just stopping to take that one moment. I think that filled me up enough for the rest of my events. But you know, now it's back to virtual for me for a while. So see you next time, live energy.
I'm honestly over here like, you know what? I love Twitch because I love, you know, supporting my DJ community. But like, I cannot explain to you the joy that poured over me when the governor of Florida was like, no restrictions. You guys are open. Let's go. Now, asterisk to that, guys. Just like Bselecta said, every county is different. So we still don't have rules for every county. And, you know, if it's a privately owned venue, they might decide to straight follow CDC guidelines and say, okay, only 50 people. What's crazy is that, you know, last night when I was scrolling on social media, I saw that they made the announcement in Vegas that like open, they can have weddings up to 250 people. So
is that
I don't know. It's interesting that like, you know, different parts of the world are opening up in different ways. And so, you know, there's different regulations in every city on how we do events. So, I mean, now, okay, so let me ask you this. So, Bselecta, are you, have they said anything in California? Or are you guys straight, like you can't even have more than 5 people?
No, I mean, it, like I said, it's county by county. And to be quite honest, girl, the people aren't following the rules anyway. So, to be, you know, and I am limiting my exposure to too much of the stuff because it gets heavy. So, but as far as I know right now, I mean, it's as strict as it was day one. They're starting to open up. The hair salons are starting to open up again, I think, and the nail salons are starting up again. But again, an hour away from me, the rules are different. And I know DJs that have venues that are like, I don't even care. You can have 250 people in the venue. So the people really are not, they're just over it from what I've seen. But again, I also live in a bit of a bubble in my house. Yeah. So
yeah. Jess, what about you? What about your part of the world?
So Pittsburgh went, I know, Kristin, you said you're in, is it phase 3 you called it? Okay, so I thought that was interesting. Are your phases numbered as well? Bselecta, are they 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is red, yellow, and green. And I saw you know, in our notes, Kristin, that you said about today's chat. I'm like, wait, 1, 2, and 3, they're like sub levels of these colors, you know? So I Googled it, and it's the same concept. It's just colors versus numbers, right? We went to green at the end of May. And again, it's also county by county. The county that has the most restrictions is the county that surrounds the city of Pittsburgh, called Allegheny County. And then you have all these little counties too. I'm sure it's the same, Westmoreland County, you know, Beaver County, that have their own restrictions. So everywhere but Allegheny has been pretty open as far as like 250 people outside. I forget how many it was inside. It may have been 100. These numbers just it changes so much that I wasn't able to remember. And I'm not going to lie, like I stopped following it strictly because it was such a source of stress. But right now I believe Allegheny County, you can have like 250 outside, maybe it's 100. And then inside it was 25. I think that has been up to about 50 or 100. So the reason why I don't know exactly is because each venue is different with what they're doing. Some don't care and will admit they're breaking the rules. Some are following them strictly. So what I did was I created a Facebook group for the Pittsburgh DJs and also other vendors that wanted to join, where originally it was a Google Doc. And I've spoke about this before, where we tracked when we went to a venue or what we heard about the venue, what rules they were following, what changes they have made, how that affects our setup, load-in experience altogether. So now, since we're all back actively working, we post a gig log after we've worked somewhere. And then whenever you go to work at a new venue that you haven't been to in 2020, you just have to do a search, and then you'll kind of see what the rules and regulations are and what to expect. So we just kind of day by day keep up with it.
That's dope.
Thanks. Yeah.
I mean,
helpful.
We do something similar, but only within, you know, our tribe of DJs at RDJ Rocks. In Orlando, we actually have a Facebook group for vendors in general, and we talk about different venues. You know, for us, some of the things that we have seen going back, and like I said, like in the beginning, I kind of was like the last person to jump on this digital, you know, Twitch thing. Like I'll do it. It was fun when I was like quarantined, but like, my brain is left and right. You know, I want to be creative, but I also have a very analytical side to me. So like logistics and running the company, like, you know, that kind of fires me up a little bit. But anyway, so back to what I was saying is that, you know, we did our first wedding show. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? And so I was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Like in my mind, I thought, okay, if we can do this safely and show people, at least, you know, in our world of doing weddings, that like, the wedding industry isn't shut down, at least from an economical standpoint, maybe like the perception and energy of things will start to shift quicker than before. Honestly, it was the best wedding show probably in the last 10 years. The energy was through the roof. I haven't seen couples be that excited about wedding planning and never, ever. And I don't know, maybe just because I've been stuck in my house, and then we have another one coming up this Sunday, which, if we have time, we'll talk about, my setup and, new QSC stuff. But I'm excited. I'm seeing, when the responsibilities go to, let's say, the venue who's doing temperature checks on vendors upon arrival. For our staff, I'm having them fill out a self-check form and do kind of self-temperature checks, right? Everyone at that wedding show, they were requiring every vendor to have hand sanitizer out for people to use. So what are you guys, and I guess maybe I'll just direct this to Jess, for the events that you have done in person, what are some of the things that you are seeing locally that kind of gears towards having an event, but let's have it safely?
That's a good question.
You know what? Hold on. She's pausing, you guys. You want to know why? Because if you are a DJ or anyone in the wedding industry, it has been, what's the word? Is it faux pas? Give me a term for don't post that. You know what I mean?
You got to be careful, because there's been some places I've been to that aren't following the rules, and I don't want to post and tag them and make them look like, oh my gosh, look, that venue, nobody's wearing a mask and everybody's near each other, and people are going through the buffet line and serving themselves with no masks on. And like I said, everyone's allowed to have their own perspective. I have mine. I have noticed that as far as buffets go, that they'll have the catering staff serve the food instead of people serving themselves, and they'll have masks on and they'll just quickly give it to them. Maybe it's a transition to a sit down plate at dinner, which a few brides or a few couples have chosen to do and switched it up that way. Sanitation stations everywhere. Oh, the one thing that was cool at a place I was at, the Gathering Place in Darlington Lake, where I'm a preferred vendor, on the door, they had a way to open it with your elbow instead of, it was like a handle thing. I'm like, what is this? And you just kind of use your wrist to open the door, opposed to having to remember to grab a paper towel to open it. So that was really cool. And they had hand sanitation stations everywhere. But other than that, I haven't been anywhere where they're doing temperature checks or anything besides moving the tables a little bit farther apart from each other. It's not been like that.
I am. I get shot in the forehead with a temperature gun every time.
I like that. I'm so down with that, man. But I have not seen any places doing that at all. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. And also what I thought was really cool is that everybody has seen that photo of the red, green, and yellow bracelets on how comfortable you feel being social, right? Have you guys seen that?
I haven't.
Okay, so there are some events where how you might have a registration table or a gift table, right? So they'll have a table that's set up, and there's a sign that indicates what each of the bracelets are, and they're colored red, yellow, and green. And if you are a green bracelet, people are literally saying, hey, Bselecta, are you a green bracelet? And what that means is that you're totally comfortable. You'll lick somebody's face if you know what I mean? And then there is the yellow bracelet that's proceed with caution. And then there's the red bracelet people that's don't even come within 6 feet of me because I don't want your droplets near me. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely seeing that method implemented into local networking events, wedding shows, and even at my weddings. I also want to share with you guys that if you're not following, go follow her, Jody Harris, on Instagram. She's out of Vegas, and she created these really cute dance floor decals. It's the cutest ones I've seen because most of them are just boring, stay 6 feet. But hers are super cute, and they have a play on lyrics where it says, don't stand so close to me, and 6 feet apart. So I'm okay, cute. Cause I don't want I don't want just like corporate looking ones if I'm going to do that, if someone asks, you know?
Yeah, they have
and when someone's like, what are you going to do as the DJ to make sure they stay 6 feet apart? I'm like, bro, my job is to make them bend over, make their knees touch their elbows. So
I was going to say, people really make you responsible for that?
yes, that's what it is, Jess. Well, here's the thing is that a lot of, okay, I don't really want to make anybody upset over here. But I'm going to throw my opinion out there. I'm not the fun police. Like, my job is to start the party. However, I do know that I have a responsibility in all of this because we're all in this together. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I going to make an announcement as if it was a middle school dance every 5 minutes and be like, don't twerk on your bestie? Absolutely not. But if I can make a suggestion on like, hey, put out a signage, maybe give a mask for your wedding favor, put decals on the dance floor, and put bracelets out. You know what I'm saying? Like, tiny little things like that can help contribute to, the overall whatever. Because I don't know about you guys, but I am borderline yellow/red bracelet. So sometimes I'm like red and sometimes I'm yellow. But if I didn't even have that bracelet, I would be like, oh my God, you're green. And I wouldn't even want to go out. So just having those things makes me feel more comfortable, like interacting with people, knowing that, okay, if you're a red bracelet and I'm a red bracelet, that means you've probably quarantined. You haven't been going out. You're only hanging out with a certain group of people. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot in one
Wow.
breath. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm so intrigued by the whole dynamic.
Yeah, it's crazy. So there's a question on here that says, at wedding shows, are visitors asking about your pandemic related preparedness? Absolutely. And what I will tell you guys right now is kind of being in the forefront of being open. If there's one thing I can encourage everyone to do who's going to be doing private events, social events, and weddings, is that you should start creating whatever that is, whether that's graphics, a video. You need to start talking about it on your website and on social media. I have had at least 3 clients who have booked us for their event just because we had safety protocols in place. One was, a photo booth. They had a photo booth as part of their event, and they were like, we really love how you kind of laid everything out. And I know with you guys, I'll be safe. I don't know what this other company is doing, Yeah. So I would say definitely start creating that stuff too.
Add it to the to-do list that I can't get to. I'm thinking, I'm like, there's something else I need to do.
Well, I try to, like, a good friend of mine told me, whenever you create something, repurpose. So when we were at the wedding show last weekend and the person walked up to me and asked me this, and I was like, oh, heck no. And then the second person asked me, I'm like, nope. I got out my phone and I was like, girls, we're recording a video right now. Mm-hmm. I said, I just want you to go on film, ad lib, and walk me through the process of what this is. When I got home that night, I threw it in Animoto, threw a logo in the front, uploaded it to YouTube, done.
There you go.
So you can make it a part of your process. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the workflow. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you guys want to add to, like, how you're feeling about, like, the world starting to open up and maybe where you see that going, or?
I don't know. I just really don't know. Yeah. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know. I wish I was solid on that, but I just don't know. I know that I want things to get better. I know that I see, the negative effects of all of this. But I have no idea what this is going to look like. I know Canada, I always talk about Canada. I'm more in tune with that maybe. But I know that they started opening up because they were super good at like a universal shutdown. And now they're starting to see things go crazy. But really? I think that this country is ready to move forward. I don't know how I feel about that personally. I hope it's good. I just want everybody to be okay. For the most part, I understand that that's not possible. It's not all going to be okay. But I do hope that if we take the precautions necessary as a unit, that we're able to slowly get back to some social integration, especially for the kids, because we need it. So I don't know how I feel. I just know I wish it could get better.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think one thing that helps me keep perspective is I have a few friends that work in the hospitals on the front line. And when I say front line, I don't mean like they just so happen to be in this department and then they got busy and then they moved them over here. I'm talking respiratory front line. And so I've watched them go in every single day, and they're like, you can't, don't be so, be concerned, but don't be so terrified that it stops you from life. And I think for the most part, I feel like that has been what has happened to me. And I'm trying my best to be like, you know what, like if they can go in every single day and help fight this and literally be exposed to it in their face, right? And they're wearing their mask and they're washing their hands, and you're not taking your mask off to breathe. You're not removing it for a straw. Like I'm very inquisitive, and I ask them questions because if they can be exposed and not catch it, there's got to be a way that at least I can figure out, how I can stay safe in all this.
It makes sense. I mean,
but
go ahead.
I was going to say to each his own, because some people aren't comfortable. And I think, just like I said in the beginning, everybody's got their own comfort level to this, and we've got to figure out how to navigate that with each other,
Yeah.
Just like people coming to events, some are going to show up with no masks, and, some are going to show up with masks and social distance. So we'll see.
Are you taking your bike rides anymore, or your outside stuff, or has that just gone away?
Okay. So I'm not going to lie on live television, if that's what you want to call this. So, okay. So I went and I got my eyebrows microbladed.
Oh, so jealous. Sorry.
Like 4 weeks ago, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, whatever. And had I had known this before I got my microblading, I might have not have done this. But you're not supposed to touch your eyebrows, sweat, be in sunlight for like freaking 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not going to lie and say that it threw me off my game. However, I am back on it this week. And I did go on my bike ride this morning.
Okay, good. But I'm so proud of you for getting your eyebrows done. Legit, I think about that like every morning when I wake up. I've had it done before. It's life-changing, and then it wipes off. I'm not gonna
it definitely was life-changing in the beginning, and then I'm like, I went through brutal, agonizing pain. I'm I don't know, like I'm not sure.
Shall we?
So I want to start wrapping up the conversation and end on a positive note and talk about the future. Let's talk about what are our goals for the last quarter of 2020, whether that be events, whether that be personal, whether that be, hey, I'm just going to start working out again. Like, what does that look like for you guys? And if you need a minute, I can probably start the conversation if you need me to go first.
You go first.
So I have actually put a tiny bit of thought into this, because as we enter into October, November, and December, my brain always shifts to, it's budget season. Oh my gosh, Ernie, I'm thinking.
Yes, Ernie.
Sorry. I try to have conversations that fit everybody. So, hopefully that you a little tidbit of the day, guys. But anyways, as I start to get towards the fall, there's something about like the crisp weather where I'm like, ooh, okay, I'm reflecting. I have gratitude because like Thanksgiving is coming. And then it's like end of the year. What am I going to do for 2021? So like I automatically just get into this zone. And again, for me, it comes back down to like I have zero control over everything, right? None of us have control over anything right now. So I'm letting the year kind of finish out as it finishes out. But what I really want to do is look back and say, okay, you know what? Like this really cleared up the air to really think like, how do I want my DJ business to look in 2021? And that might not be what I have built over the last 10 years. Maybe it's an evolution of, maybe there's something in addition to, I'm not really sure. But I do know that what I have learned in, partnering with, QSC and chatting with you ladies and, interacting with DJs on Twitch is that I want the relationships to continue, because that is what makes life so rich.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. That's a good
Boom.
one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's really good.
I don't really know. Still reflecting. So that wasn't really like tangible goals, but that's kind of what's going on in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said something that kind of nailed it as far as like, there's no way that this isn't a moment where we're supposed to shift. I don't think there's any way that we can't feel like something's shifting, and so we're just trying to figure out what that shift is. And I think as I was listening to you and thinking about what maybe my goals are, is to, like you said, finish 2020 as it is, because like you said, there's a lot going on and we don't have control over so much of that. So letting go of feeling like we can, I think for me is important. And also I'm just trying to be in tune with this shift and trying to understand what my role is supposed to be in the next 12 to 18 months, because it's just so much more than just my music career that I have to think about. So I'm just trying not to be overwhelmed and just really being in tune with that and finding the balance in 2021 that I need to have, so that my whole family's healthy, me included.
I love that. I love that. Ernie just says we have control over our perspective. And that's exactly what it is.
That's everything.
Yeah.
All right, Jess, what you got?
So I think probably to get microblading done. I mean, that is something, but you know. So seriously, I'm the kind of person where I focus on what's right in front of me whenever I get busy. And right now I am busy with, you know, prepping for the presentation. I have some virtual parties coming up. I have a DJ of the Year competition that I'm doing. And once I get through that, then I'll shift to the next thing, right? So with that said, I feel like when the end of November hits, when December hits, is when I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think about everything in retrospect, what has gone down, the different months, what has happened with that. I mean, I know that I'm always climbing, right? I'm always climbing. I'm always trying to get better. I'm always trying to enjoy where I'm at, but looking for the future too. And this year, this time, 2020 has really been a chance for me to slow down and to look at Jessica, who I am, you know, take away the DJ, take away the mom, take away the wife, take away whatever, and just look at Jessica for who she is this year and how that reflects who I've been my entire life. You know, how I spoke before, my superpower. I'm getting more in tune with who I am as an individual, what makes me special, what makes me different, what makes me happy. And I feel I'll take all of that with me with my DJ career, and it's only going to help excel who I am as a performer, as a business woman, as a mom, as a wife. It's just going to do it naturally. So I'm just really focusing on that. And I've learned so much about myself, and it has allowed me to let go of so many things that were just holding me down everywhere. So that's my main focus, man, is just to keep getting into the different energy type things and, you know, the holistic vibes and all of that. And I'm finding that it's just naturally coming to me. It's insane and it's beautiful.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thanks.
And you're right. We're going to be better for it. I think everything we do is going to be better for it. The more in tune we are with who we are is going to come out in our music and our performance and our connection with people. And that, yeah, totally. And can I add one more goal?
Yes.
That's actually related to this actual thing. I'm going to get myself a QSC subwoofer. I'm going to try some next week. I'm going to try some next week.
Good.
And I'm going to just, because that's the last component I really need for my setup to just be a package. Yeah. So I'm going to test out some next week. I'm going to Instagram story it. So if you guys are interested in, you know, the different subs, I've got 3 different subs I'm going to test out that have different aspects to them, because I'm, you know, I'm strong, but like the big one. So I'm going to look into that, and I want to get a QSC sub, and I want to continue to find myself. Balance.
Yeah, I have equipment goals too, man, and it's subs on one of mine. So I'll totally be checking that out. Make sure you at me when you do that, because weight is a big issue when it comes to subwoofers. And it's the reason why I haven't got one yet. So please.
Exactly. Yes, I got you, girl. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Totally.
Same with the subwoofer. I just got in 2 CP12s that I'm going to use for just like extra sound at my wedding show fashion show on Sunday.
Nice.
Just because like I don't need massive, you know, speakers. So we'll see how those sound too. But I just want to say, ladies, thank you so much. It is always, always, always such a pleasure. I love that, you know, our conversations always go deeper than just surface level music and DJ talk. And I think I'll close out by saying what it seems like to me the theme of the week might be messy and complicated and afraid, and show up anyway. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, QSC. It was an amazing DJ discussion today. Feel free to comment afterwards, add us on Instagram, and let's continue the conversation. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Until next month.
Bye, guys. Yeah, bye-bye.